Spiderman. There's been many of those over the years, but ones that left a bigger impression date back as far as the year 2000, as developer Neversoft released Spiderman. This game featured many favorites like Venom, Carnage, Scorpion, Mysterio and Rhino. It was followed by Spider-Man 2, Enter Electro. There were some before, some in between and many after those releases, but those two were kind of only ones that left a bigger impression, and also they were the ones I got my hands on. Spider-Man used the same engine as Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and it was also featured as a hidden character in Neversoft's earlier release Tony Hawk 2. PlayStation 2 and 3 also had their fair share of games, basically the whole list. But I managed to skip most of the titles somehow. Some weren't good, some were not available for my gaming platform. But enough of the backstory, let's get into Marvel's Spider-Man. As year 2018 approached, I was already eagerly waiting for the new entry to the franchise. Many good news were floating around the new release as Insomniac had made its formal introduction in E3. So as the time arrived to get my pre-ordered copy of Marvel's Spider-Man, our game supplier Euronics fucked up yet again! We did not get our copy on the 7th. We did not get our copy on the 8th. It was not arrived yet, was the information we were given. But some of the colleagues had already received a copy the day before. So I went straight to the store, hit my fist against the counter and told them that my friends had already gotten their copies the day before, which was true. Then I found one of the copies under the table. They had it under the table. So I told them, fuck, I'm going to buy this and I will cancel my fucking pre-order. Yeah, so I did. I bought the game from the store and I didn't get my pre-ordered game. Fucking Estonia. Don't come here. Don't come to this land of poorness and fuck-ups. Do not come here if you want something that everyone already has. Even better, live in Siberia. There is no temptation besides the fucking snow. Anyways, let's get back into Marvel's Spider-Man. Take deep breaths. Oof. Off topic yet again. So I got my copy, and to be honest, it's really difficult to find anything wrong with it. It feels like a real Spider-Man game should feel like. Web swinging through Manhattan Island, doing everything that the true friendly neighborhood Spider-Man should be able to do. You have incredible control of the direction you want to go. It's just pure fun. You never think about using fast travel. So sound effects are good. Are actually really good. Nothing disturbing throughout the whole game. Narratives for people on the street become a bit repetitive, but that hardly takes anything from the overall experience as a Spider-Man. But what I noticed is that the main volume of the game is quite low, so each time I switched to another game, my speakers were just banging like a deranged Viagra enthusiastic nymphomaniac. Graphics. Oh yes, the graphics. The big debacle over the graphics. Graphics is actually really good, even if it was reduced somehow. It doesn't show. On Take the Picture mode, you can actually get photorealistic results depending on where you are in the city. By the way, the higher you are, the more realistic everything becomes. And trust me, this wasn't an innuendo of how high you are on weed. Closer to the ground, you notice people walking against each other like headless chickens while doing repetitive dance moves with no facial expressions. Now, cutscenes have really nice graphics. I love that they put a lot of effort into the face capture animation. You can actually see the emotion or state of mind of each character. City map is quite huge. I mean, it's big enough, and if it was bigger I would really consider fast travel, but size-wise it's perfect, meaning that there were a lot of things to do with close proximity to each other. Random crimes, hideouts, shit tons of collectibles, challenges, research labs, radio towers and so on. Doing those quests is mostly fun, but if you aim for Platinum Trophy, you need to do them all, and maybe even a couple of times. Luckily, each one of those side quests or hideouts or crimes require you to fight against enemies. But with fighting mechanism this fantastic. It's really fun. It's a bit difficult sometimes when you get ganged up, but it's equally fun to watch and play. Spidey's acrobatics teacher and stretching coach should be really proud. You also have a lot of different gadgets. You can unlock them and upgrade them. Different webs and web bombs. Everything is useful in some situations. You can also unlock, buy and customize a lot of different costumes. Each one of them has a unique power that you can also customize piece by piece. Plus you can add mods, also piece by piece. You can also have abilities to further amp your Spidiness. Shitloads to do in upgrading and customization selection. Some costumes I really love, but I can't help myself sticking to the original one. Kinda makes sense to me. As I've always said, I do not care about the visual customization at all in single nor multiplayer games. What does not improve my odds of success or implementation of strategy, I usually skip. But Spidey costumes, on the other hand, have specialized features just for those costumes, so this makes more sense to me. Spider-Man also gains levels in this game, and I totally love that. Getting closer to level 50 unlocks ability points for the ability tree, of course. You have a lot of those as well. But about the gameplay, what I also wanted to add, that it really reminds me the older Spider-Man games. It has this same kind of silliness and most of the catchphrases of the enemies. Also, most of the missions are kind of copy-paste, but modernized versions of previous releases. And you know what? That is absolutely fantastic. I totally love it. It gives you the feeling, the same feeling I had 18 years ago. Fuck, long fucking time ago. Storyline, of course the storyline. You see several villains joining forces against Spider-Man in this one. The story is not, luckily, it's not the origin story. It's more mature, grooved in with the daily life that now goes sour as all the bad guys are free again. Although this game tells a few origin stories that emotionally capture feelings and thoughts behind each character, that when they have made their so-called transformation, you know how and why they got there. Pacing in this game is well done and the story is totally movie-like. With each cutscene, I actually could not turn my eyes off the screen. I wanted to see what will happen next. So it's compelling and really good. Really good. There were a few faults with the game, of course there always is, but they were minor compared to everything that was done right. I had few game freezes, few glitches, I got stuck few times and needed to reload past saves. Cleaning hideouts, I found that some enemies were inside the objects and I could not finish the missions, so I had to restart them again. Leveling does not go over 50, why not? It should. Little movements are somewhat clunky sometimes, like getting 10 meters of precision swinging over the city, no problem! But stepping 2 steps right or left can take you minutes. You just start blasting your sticky icky everywhere and running on walls, but getting closer to the backpack above you, now that seems complicated. And now, of course, my favorite part, completing the game with Platinum Trophy. For this game, it's actually simple, but it takes time. It takes you approximately 25 to 30 hours. I'm still doing it. I have one final trophy left. I hate games that butt rape their players in order for you to put more hours in, more than you actually should. But Spider-Man got it right. I mean, perfect. Spider-Man will be definitely one of the top contenders of 2018 Game of the Year awards. It's already projected in the sales. Spider-Man has sold more copies than Far Cry 5, being PlayStation 4 exclusive compared to Far Cry's multi-platform release. Sales are even higher than God of War's, both in China and EU. But doing this review, I'm not leaning on any numbers or other opinions. This is just my own experience I would like to share. Overall, this game is worth 9 out of 10 without a doubt. And just because it got everything right, and I'm really happy about it. And of course there is much more to say about the goodness of this game that I did not cover. Taking pictures and listening to the radio broadcasts about your misdemeanors or just reading different articles of Daily Bugle are just some of them. I'm Sillyllamaz and I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, hit that like, smash that bell, and if you dare, subscribe as well. Till next time.